we are going to multiply some complex numbers. Complex numbers are otherwise known as imaginary numbers with the little i's here. And the thing you need to remember is that I squared is the same as -1. I like to think of imaginary numbers as placeholders. They kind of hold the place until the number becomes real again. So for these right here, it's going to be -8 squared and then I squared. This 2 is going to go to both things in here. So -8 squared is going to be 64. And then I squared. I squared is the same as -1. So it would be 64 times -1. So answer here is going to be -64. Anytime we have a negative number to an odd exponent, it's going to stay negative. And anytime we have a number to an even exponent, it's going to always become positive. So now for this one, I'm going to have -4 to the third and then I to the third. So -4 to the third is going to stay -64. And then I to the third is the same as 3 i's. Okay? These two are going to become I squared, and then I have one poor little I left over. I squared is -1, and then I have I. So I have -1 and then an I left over. So this is going to become positive 64i. Now for this one, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 i's. So it's going to be I to the third power. And then 2 times -7 is going to get me -14. It's the same thing again here. So this gets me I squared times I. And this is going to get me -1 times I. So this is going to become -14 times -1 times I. This is going to get me 14i as my answer. And now down here, when you get to these guys, you have to FOIL them. So we're going to do first times first. So 3 times -3 times 5 is going to get me -15. Outside is going to get me 3 times 7, or -3 times 7, which is going to get me -21i. Basically, the I is just going to kind of come along for a minute. 5i times 5 is going to get me plus 25i. 5i times 7i is going to get me plus 35i squared. I'm going to combine like terms, so I have -15 plus 4i, and then 35 times I squared is -1 again, so this is going to be plus 35 times -1. So now I've got -15 plus 4i minus 35. I'm going to put these two together, which is going to get me -50 plus 4i. Now the real number comes first and the imaginary number comes second. Now these two are a very special pattern that you'll see more of with the imaginary numbers. This is called its complex conjugate. So see how they're the exact same thing and all that's changed is their sign? So something kind of fun is going to happen here. So -2 times -2 gets me positive 4. -2 times -3 gets me plus 6i. Positive 3 times -2 gets me minus 6i. And then 3 times -3 gets me -9i squared. When I have this one and this one should always cancel each other out. So I have plus 6i minus 6i. These guys go away. So I have 4 minus 9i squared. I squared is going to become positive 1, or -1, which means this is going to become positive 9. So this will be 4 plus 9, which is 13. You're going to see this when you have to get rid of them on the bottom of fractions, because you can't have an imaginary number on the bottom of a fraction. So you're going to have to do this to get rid of it, and that's what this is for. And I wanted to show you this real quick because they're squared. You can't do what we did up here. When they're adding them, it's a different thing. So you're going to have 3 plus 4i times 3 plus 4i. And you're going to have to FOIL these. So 9 plus 12i plus 12i plus 16i squared gets me 9 plus 24i plus 16 times negative 1. So 9 plus 24 minus 16 gives me 9 minus 16, which is 7. Negative 7 plus 24i.